Kethevane, Donald Trump must know that he doesn't have the power to delay the election. So what was the point he was trying to make in these comments?
It seems like there were two main reasons behind those comments. One is the distraction technique. Donald Trump knew exactly what he was doing when he tweeted that earlier on Thursday. He knew that it was going to overturn the news cycle, and so he was simply deflecting from two very bad numbers. On Wednesday, 150,000. It was the number of deaths that was passed here in the United States. And then earlier on Thursday, we got the results from the GDP, and those dire economic results were very bad for Donald Trump, who is running on a strong economy. So he was trying to deflect from those two numbers. The other main reason is something that you pointed at, which is trying to undermine the credibility of that November 3rd vote. It seems that Donald Trump, according to some people in the White House, sees those poll numbers, even if he says that he doesn't care about the polls. He sees that he's trailing Joe Biden, and he's trying to really sow a little seed of mistrust among Americans for the results of that election. He's been railing about mail-in ballots for weeks, even months now, saying that a massive mailing balloting will lead to massive fraud. And the reason for that is really to get people to be a little bit not confident about that result. In the case that he loses on November 3rd, he'll be able to question the legitimacy of his loss. Will he challenge the result? That's something totally different.
Now, Kethevane, stay with us. I want to take a look at how some top Republicans have dismissed Trump's idea. Here's how Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell reacted.
Never in the history of the country, through wars, depressions, and the Civil War, have we ever not had a federally scheduled election on time. And we'll find a way to do that again this November 3rd.
I understand the president's concern about mail-in voting, which is different than absentee voting. But never in the history of the federal elections have we ever not held an election, and we should go forward with our election.
Well, some very adamant Trump supporters normally there, Kethevane, but for this time at least, it seems like Republicans are joining in with Democrats in criticizing the president.
Yes, the Republicans were for once very vocal and public with their opposition to the president. They really didn't feel like they needed to hold back. We heard two of the top Republicans in Congress. Liz Cheney said the resistance to this idea among Republicans is overwhelming. We heard senators like Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz, who are big Donald Trump allies, also saying pretty much the same thing. So they really almost all came out saying, no, this is a bad idea. The election will take place on November 3rd. There is no plan to change it. What they did say, however, and we heard a bit of that in the soundbite, is that while they refuse to change the date of the election, they are going along with the president on the question of a mail-in ballot and whether that leads to voter fraud. Several of the Republicans said that they did understand Donald Trump's concerns about this new idea of a mass mail-in ballot process, which could lead to massive fraud. But they said that while there was some risk, the election could be held on November 3rd. So the Republicans trying to do a little bit of a balancing act, but they are feeding into this claim that the president has been going on about for months, the fact that mail-in ballots lead to voter fraud. This is a completely unproven claim in the United States, at least. And the Democrats are pushing for those mail-in ballots for one reason and one reason only. It's because of the coronavirus. They started doing that during the primaries, when some of these primaries had almost to be canceled. So they turned to mail-in ballots in order to keep those election dates and those primary, and they're trying to do the same thing to push for Americans to have the option to vote by mail if they don't feel safe enough to go out and vote on November 3rd in person.
All right. Thank you very much, Kethevane. Kethevane Gorjestani reporting from Washington.